I'm really curious who would click on this title being so vague and mysterious, but thank you to all 5 of you. Welcome to the Small Scape. This is a different kind of video, but one that I've had kind of in the back of my mind for quite some time, just because I think it's so interesting to see where people get inspiration and to see what other people are up to, and then also see what's going on here. So the purpose of this video is threefold, and that would be first to share some videos, maybe some things that I've learned in other videos from other creators this week that I thought I would share with you, because I really don't have anybody else to share it with. If I find out something really interesting about a plant or something, I need to share it with you, because you are my plant peeps, and you'll get it. You will absolutely get it. And then also probably share what's going on in this studio space, which goes by many names, is the primetime backdrop for his live stream, his weekly live stream on Wednesdays. And it's also known as the loft or the workshop. I usually call it my workshop. But to give you kind of some glimpses around in different areas that you never ever see, I thought it would be kind of fun, because there is a big remodel coming up. So you're going to see it before, during, and after, little bits and pieces, and then just kind of share little different things that I'm up to around here. And then also, the third part would be tanks that I have coming up that will be scaped, and that will probably be in the fish room, either the new side, the old side, somewhere there, or even up here. And yeah, I just thought it would be really kind of fun. All right, so let's get started with the videos and things that I've learned this week, or maybe even previously. First of all, the first video that popped in my head was a garden answer. It is my favorite channel, has been for a number of years, and probably will always be. But she had a plant on today that I thought I would share. I've never seen it before. I didn't know it came in this color, and it actually affects the water world. And oh, and all the videos that I reference, I'll link them down below. There you go. So this one, today's video, she talked about a creeping jenny. Those of you who are familiar with creeping jenny, I used it around my pond. It's a great plant around a pond. It's also great in containers. It's a great fun plant. You can get it at the garden center, but it also has relatives in the water world, and that would be bacopa, one of my favorite plants. I love bacopa. And a lot of aquatic plants, semi-aquatic plants, they have different habits. They can live out of water, in water, half and half. They have different habits, and they appear differently depending if they're in the water or out of the water. But I have always liked creeping jenny out of the water, and this one is what did she say it was called? Persian chocolate. It's a different kind of it's a moneywort. It's also known as that. But creeping jenny, I had no idea came in different colors. So there you go. I just had to share it with somebody, and that's you. I'm sharing it with you, and I will hopefully get my hands on some of this. Whether or not I have a pond come up again, which I did remove mine. I'm gonna give you some shots later of what the space looks like. It looks totally different, but yeah. So anyways, with that, I've been so her videos drop every morning at 6 a.m. It gives me a reason to get up in the morning for a work day when I maybe don't want to, but catch her video every 6 a.m. And a couple weeks ago, it was probably longer than that, but this leads me to another creator, Greg Whitstock, the pond guy, did a huge pond by her place, and I was glued to my screen. It was like a 4 or 5 week or 4 or 5 day video drop, that everything that was going on, and the pond is just to die for. So for those of us who do not have the space nor the ability to have a big ginormous pond like that, we can live vicariously through people like her and other places that Greg visits and does his beautiful work. Him and Team Aquascape, we visited their location. It's very close to us, actually. It's like 20 minutes away. Really fun. I may drop in there sometime to get some footage of some ponds, but specifically why I'm bringing this up, not only is it fun videos to watch creating ponds, but I think for those of us who love ponds, and I do, I think it's the best of both worlds. You have the aquarium world, and then you have vivariums, paludariums, and then you have just the terrarial world that's just all land planting. I think ponds kind of they're the best of both worlds, because when you go out in nature, do you ever really find a glass box filled with water? No, you really don't. So I just love ponds. It gives the aquarium world kind of a context. So to create ponds in different ways, I do it mentally, whether it's you have an aquarium and you add floating plants, or a lot of driftwood you see coming right out of the water. So it's not only in that box, you elevate it, you put other elements outside of the aquarium and just give it some context. Absolutely love it. But I've gotten lots of inspiration from watching those videos and even learned a couple things. The liner that they use for these ponds, it's roofing material. What? I had no idea. It's a special kind of roofing material that's not toxic, and it's very sturdy because you don't want rocks, ripping holes in the bottom of your pond and then there goes your water. But I thought that was very interesting. And a couple other things that I gleaned from there was keep in mind when you're doing an aquascape, and especially if it's like a stream style or a pond style kind of vibe, keep in mind out in nature you don't just have one kind of rock. You don't go out in a location and whoop, there's only one kind of rock. There's different kinds. You have sharp-sided rocks and you have smoother river rocks blending together, different variations of substrate. You have sand, you have more like pebbles. Keep that in mind. When they're doing ponds, they don't just have one kind of rock, one kind of sand. They mix it up and it just looks absolutely amazing. And then also, what was I thinking with the ponds? Oh, with different kinds of levels. So around a pond, you call that a berm. When you, or just really in the terrestrial world, it's a berm. It's like basically a big pile of soil where you plant things and it gives elevation, just gives it more interest than flat. So I like to keep that in mind with my aquascapes. Add some height either through the back, up on one side, or even outside of the aquarium going out. Lots of different options. And then outside of, I even added a berm after that. After the pond was created, I was like, I need a berm out back. So I went and got a whole bunch of bags of soil and created a berm and got myself an arborvitae and planted it in my new berm. It was really exciting. But keep those things in mind. And also I'm gonna link down below another video. This was a two-part video that KG Tropicals dropped. He got a pond too. It's a really nice size pond, and I haven't seen the latest video. I'll drop both of them below because I need some time to like fully focus. I can't do something else because pond video, I just have to be like, it's game on, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Hopefully someday soon, next year maybe, or year after, we'll get to see it in person. That would be super exciting. And let's see what else. Back to more specific fish keeping. There was a video that popped up, and this is from, you may know him as Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, now known as FISHTORY, and that is Alex, who just literally 1 year ago, like the last weekend, we met him at the AGA. It was in town. It was in Schaumburg, Illinois, and great guy. I was a little starstruck meeting him in person. Super nice guy, but he had a huge health scare, and he's okay now. But his latest video is, I thought it was fascinating. I thought I wanted to share with you, like, hey, if you guys ever want to catch your own fish, he shared his everyday carries, like what he carries with him to catch fish out in the wild. So if you've ever watched Jonathan Butkus, he does this as well. And then he knows, both of those guys would know exactly what kind of fish they're catching, just out of like a bazillion different breeds. Really very impressive. But I thought that was a fascinating video that I thought you guys should know is out there. Then last of all, but certainly not least, is one of my favorite aquascapers, and that is James Nature Aquatics. I got a message from him, was it last week, a few days ago? I had mentioned him in a video pretty recently, stating that sometimes when you want to create a scape, to keep it simple, to keep it really striking, limit your choice of plants, right? It's just easier for us, especially those of us who struggle with making decisions or scaping. It just becomes too overwhelming, or you scape something and it just looks like a hot mess. Right here. I said keep your plant choices minimal, unless of course you are James Nature Aquatics and you know exactly what you're doing with all these different kinds of textures and colors, and then you're gonna get something absolutely striking. Well, he showed me a picture of his latest and greatest Aquascape, and whoo, it's beautiful. It's stunning. And I've noticed, I try to stay off shorts for the most part, because you can just like start scrolling, but his shorts are just so much fun. Love the music he puts to them. One of them, the latest one, I wanted to make sure that you guys saw. It was Daylight, the song Daylight. I don't know if you know it, but really great lyrics, and I just really liked it. So I literally watched it like 100 times in a row. It just kept playing and playing. And two things that I wanted you to see, if you do happen to want to check it out, would be his use of plants and textures and varieties throughout the tank. Just watch it. Just, it's stunning. And his little shorts are just so cute. You get to see the inhabitants. You get to see it really well. I don't know how he's videoing this, but it's really great quality. And then he was gluing Riccardia? I think that's what he was gluing. And generally, and that's where I thought about this, was, you know what? Never say never. Especially in the aquatic world. If you like to do something, one kind of particular scape, or you like one particular rock and you don't vary it, or you don't like a particular fish, never say never, because your tastes will change. And he was gluing little pieces, so very fine little amounts of glue. Super glue is totally fish safe, aquarium safe. And then he was putting on little bits of Riccardia. For us, that could be any kind of moss. You could use moss too. You can literally cut any little moss in little pieces and glue little pieces along a branch. Generally, I don't do that myself. It looks messy to me, but when other scapers do it, they can do it very well. And this was one time where I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna have to find some moss and cut it up and glue it on a branch, just like James. So I thought I would share that. That was a fun, a couple of fun little shorts that I really enjoyed. And then, was that it for the videos that I had watched? I think that's all that I wanted to share this week. Hopefully you find some sort of inspiration in those, and it's always fun to see what other creators are up to. So real quick before we head downstairs into the fish room, I just thought I'd give you a glimpse at my windowsill. I don't think you've ever seen the windowsill. This is where I keep a lot of my land plants and projects coming up, including a 1 gallon that I'll be scaping soon. It has taken me 2 years to scape this tank, and I'll tell you why in the video. Another 1 gallon tank that I set up last year with some of my succulents and kind of just a dry riverbed sort of feel. Now heading into the fish room. This is a tank that we call the angel tank, even though there are no longer any angels in there. The Anubias that was in there wasn't doing very well. I pulled it out, it was aggravating me, which left no plants whatsoever. So now it's holding all of the crypts that were in one of my tanks, the 29 gallon that we had to dismantle and remove from the other side of the fish room. And I'm going to be planting all of those crypts coming up. You'll see that soon. I thought that would be kind of fun to see this go from to way better looking. And then finally, this is my rummy nose tank. I am very excited to share that I have finally received into my brain inspiration. I have an inspiration in my head of how I would like this tank to look, and I don't know if it's going to be in the next day or two. As you can see, it is due for its weekly cleaning. It has gotten a little unkempt looking, and the bobitis is not doing well. So it's time for me to remove it and put it maybe in its forever home, because I know bobitis will not be here for its forever home. But these are the projects coming up, and I thought it would be fun to share with you, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.